Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Lisa Bonet, and I am back with another live video. I am here to bring you the latest in the social media streets, and we are here to talk about and give you an update on the latest in the Nancy Guthrie missing, case. And I wanted to go ahead and just keep you up to date on this. This is going to be a brief live, but I wanted to make sure that I keep you guys informed. Now, if you guys don't know, Savannah Guthrie, who is a popular newscaster, okay? Let me see, guys. Her mother, Savannah Guthrie, and has been kidnapped, okay? She was abducted, all right, on February 1st. Now, let me go ahead and give you the details of all of this, okay? Hold on, you guys. Now, on February 1st, Nancy Guthrie, who's 84 years old, the mother of the NBC journalist and Today anchor Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing from her home in Arizona, Catalina foothills to be exact. But here's the part that stopped the investigators cold. The evidence at the scene showed that she was taken from her home against her will, okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys a brief video. I just wanted to give you just a little bit of the detail on this. And you guys go ahead and look at this video. Now, I do want to also let you guys know that on Tuesday, which is today, our authorities released new photos and videos showing an armed, masked individual outside of her Tucson, Arizona home, okay? Now, remember, this is an 84-year-old woman, okay, who was dependent on medication, all right? And couldn't walk more than, I think, 50 yards by herself. So this is a very, very sensitive and serious case, all right? Now, the mother of course, Savannah Guthrie, is raising questions on what these images reveal, and it's quite unsettling, you guys. Go ahead and take a look at this, and we will get into this, okay? Let me go ahead and take this down for you. And let's get into this, guys. I'm going to bring up this brief video that I've released, but I wanted to actually talk about this a little bit and share with you guys exactly what's going on. So go ahead and take a look at this video. Guthrie, 84 years old. February 1st, Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, the mother of NBC News journalist and anchor Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing from her home in Catalina foothills, Arizona. But here's the part that stopped the investigators cold. Evidence at the scene showed that she was taken from her home against her will. Let that sink in. Now, since then, the FBI has just released surveillance footage from outside of Nancy's front door. In the video, you see a masked individual armed, carrying backup tools, approaching the home. Authorities say that the person appears to have tampered with the camera. This wasn't random. This was deliberate. But was it thought out and planned? Because you have to think about it. If they had already pre-planned this, they would have known about the camera. When you look at this footage, it seems like he is totally unaware that there would have been a camera capturing his every move. And that's where the questions are piling up. Because Catalina foothills is not just any neighborhood. This is an opulent, exclusive area. You don't just walk into places like this unnoticed. There's a long driveways, gated properties, distance between homes. And here's another detail that matters. There are no street lights. So how did this person get here? Was there a club? Was someone waiting nearby? Was this a one-person operation, which we doubt, or was there multiple people working together? Now, Nancy Guthrie doesn't just disappear from a secured home in a wealthy neighborhood without logistics, without some kind of planning, without the confidence that they could get in and out. But this seems to question that. Okay. Now, from the Guthrie family, this footage is the first real sign of hope. It's the first confirmation that someone knows something, that someone has seen something. But it also family, this footage is the first real sign of hope. It's the first confirmation that someone knows something, that someone has seen something, that this case has direction, but it also raises the stakes. Because if the person was prepared enough to mask up, carry tools, and disable surveillance, this wasn't opportunistic, and that should concern everyone. Right now, the Pima County Sheriff's Department is still offering $50,000 for any information that leads to the whereabouts of Nancy Guthrie. $50,000 for answers, for movement, for justice. Someone knows something. A car seen out of place, a figure walking where no one should have been, a detail that didn't make sense at the time, but does now. If you live near Catalina Foothills or anywhere, as of right now, if you were there that night, if you saw something as unusual, no matter how small, this is the time to speak up, because an elderly woman was taken from her home and every hour matters. This isn't just headlines. This is a family waiting, and this case is far from over.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers, and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. If you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation.
My heart and prayers go out to this family, and please help in any way you can. There are no main suspects and no car has been ID'd, but the sheriffs say that there are other images still to be released. So you guys stay tuned. Thanks for tapping in. Stay tuned and follow for more. Okay, I do want to reiterate that there are no single suspects right as of now, but if you guys know anything about this case, there is a question about Annie, who is Savannah Guthrie's sister, her husband, all right? And it's kind of rightfully so, because he was literally the last person to see her. He was the person that drove her home. Okay. And now that we have a visual to compare to the suspicions that the Pima Sheriff Department has, it kind of brings about a new angle. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. All right. So let's go ahead and let me go ahead and pull up this information, you guys, because this is so eerie. I mean, just for an 84-year-old woman with limited abilities and on medication. As a matter of fact, she had a pacemaker that disconnected from her Apple Watch that was left on the charger. So that kind of gives the police and the FBI a little bit of a timeline. You know what I'm saying? But this is breaking. This is absolutely monumental to this case, because look how clear the footage is. Now, this is from a Nest camera, and it doesn't just take photos, it actually has audio and video. Now, we didn't hear any audio. I doubt that he was talking, but what I do want to let you guys know is there is more photos and potentially videos to be released. Okay. And I will keep you guys up to date on that. Now, like I said, just today, um, they released the new photos and videos showing an armed, masked individual outside of the Tucson home of Nancy Guthrie. Now, what it reveals is unsettling, okay? Now, the stills and surveillance clips show the person standing directly outside of her front door. They were wearing a ski mask, gloves, a zipped up jacket, and a backpack, and they were armed, okay? The thing about it is they were calm and deliberate. This wasn't someone that was lost. This was someone who came prepared. But I say, in looking at this video, how prepared? Because it seems as if he was unaware that there would be a camera there waiting and being able to see him. Okay, now I'm going to play that video back, that short clip in this, but as you can see, he tries to cover the camera with his hand first. Then he seems to walk back, bend down, grab some type of shrub, come back to the camera and attempt to cover the camera with a shrub. Now, like, you don't have a rubber band in your hand, you don't have any tape, you don't have anything that would secure the shrub to that. So to that shows unpreparedness. That shows that he didn't know the lay of the land. Or it could be even more frightening that he really didn't care. And that's what makes this unsettling, okay? Now, the FBI Director Kash Patel shared several of the images publicly for the first time, marking the most significant breakthrough, I think, since Nancy Guthrie vanished in the first place. In the early morning hours, mind you, it was still dark outside, okay, on February the 1st. Now, the one thing about this is that they are in an exclusive neighborhood. This is an opulent neighborhood. Arizona is desert, okay? Another alarming thing about this is that there are no streetlights. And if you've ever been in an area that has no streetlights, no lights coming from the stores, no lights coming from, any type of awning or any type of signs or anything like that, it is pitch black dark. Also, in the footage that we see in the video, there is no signs of any car. Okay, not saying that he probably parked it right outside of the view of the camera, but it's just something to think about, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting, because what is posted in the suspect behavior raises serious questions. The way the individual carried the firearm, awkward, unpolished, the way he attempted to cover the Nest camera, like clumsy, almost careless. Now, according to the former agent, those details point to not a professional, but to someone who is inexperienced. I think unprepared. Right? In other words, this person is not a criminal mastermind, okay? More like an amateur who just got bold, okay? Now, remember, I said they're pointing fingers at Annie's, Savannah Guthrie's sister, Annie, her husband. Now, let's be clear, all right? The Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI have stressed that no suspects or persons of interest have been officially named. None, zero, okay? But the internet does, is doing what it always does. We're contemplating, we're giving our perspective, we're speculating. Now, after the footage was released, the social media, users began pulling screenshots from the videos, placing them side by side with photos of individuals, and they believe that this masked figure resembles one name that has started circulating online, Tommaso Cioni. That is the name of Annie's husband. Now, this is purely through speculation, not law enforcement confirmation. But a couple days ago, they did go and search Annie and Tommaso's house. Okay, they were seen bringing in, I think, a silver suitcase or something like that. Now, let me go ahead and show you what I have found. Okay, because there's a post on X that claimed that the eyebrows, the bridge of the nose, even what looked like a mustache under the mask were too similar to ignore. Okay, and others have echoed this. I'm on board. Again, you guys, this is online speculation and not fact. Okay, let me go ahead and show you what people are looking at, guys. All right, I will be in the chat, but let's go ahead and take a look at this, y'all, and let me show you exactly what we're talking about. Okay, is this it? No. Hold on, guys. Now, I'm going to show you the video in its entirety through page 6 so you guys can kind of get a full view because I did edit that video down. So I want to give you a chance to get the unedited version just to bring it to you raw, okay? Raw and real, all right? Before we go there, let me go on over to X and show you what is on the front of people's minds, okay? And you know the FBI is the ABC boys are going to break this down to where they get the gloves, down to his jacket, down to his shoes, counting the bricks on the wall to find out just how tall this masked intruder is, okay? They're going to leave no stone unturned. And if you know the FBI and the ABC boys like I know them, they are pretty meticulous in their investigations. All right. So let's go ahead and look at this. Hold on, y'all. And let me bring this up for y'all. Hold on. Okay, you guys. Let me let it come up first. And let me bring this up for you. Now, let me see. And let's go ahead and take a look at this because, a picture says 1,000 words. So what must the video say? And we have both. So I want to get your perspective on this. And let's go ahead and see, guys. Hold on. And let me pull this up. Now, let me make sure you guys can see this. And let me make sure you guys can hear me as well. Yeah. All right. So you guys can hear me. All right. So go ahead and take a look at what I have found. Okay. Now, here it says Nancy Guthrie suspect image released. They need to take the son-in-law and the daughter in for questioning. Do you see a mustache in addition to those eyebrows that go to the center of the bridge of the nose? I could be wrong, but it looks just like him. Now, let's be totally 100. He has a distinctive look, okay? He doesn't look like Brad, blonde hair, blue eyes, classic features, looking like Brad Pitt or, one of our favorite actors running around here. No, this is a very distinct look, all right? Now, we're no experts, okay? But we could help crack the case, all right? I want you guys to take a look here. Look at the picture of her husband. All right. Now, if you ask me, sometimes there's underlying problems, there's underlying dysfunction that goes on in every family or any kind of family, not every family, but different types of family, no matter the socioeconomic status. Okay. Rich, uber rich, poor, super poor, mansion, molehill, apartment, shack, right? The dynamic and the human behavior rarely changes, okay? All right? Now, I'm thinking that maybe there was a rift or something going on in the family, some type of rift or a toxic situation was going on. Could have been DV. Maybe the family members didn't get along. Maybe Annie was in some type of financial trouble. I'm seeing that Savannah Guthrie is extremely famous, okay? Extremely popular, all right? And I think she's worth millions of dollars, okay? That may not be the case for her sister. And we've seen this, I mean, kind of off the record with Glorilla, you know what I'm saying? And her sister coming in, you know what I'm saying? Just because Glorilla is rich, you know what I'm saying, doesn't mean her sister, who has recently came out and spoke out on her, okay, disgruntled, angry, bitter, jealous. Could that be the case here? Could they have been facing some type of financial problems? Could they have been in dire straits? Because desperate time calls for desperate measures. And this looks like somebody who was unprepared and desperate, who just decided, I don't know, a couple hours after they dropped Nancy off, that they would just go and, pull this off. Yeah, great idea. I'll hold her for ransom, get the money, it'll be untraced, and our problems will be solved. And I'm not trying to say that this is the case, y'all, but we have seen this so many times before. Could this be the case in this instance? So you guys look and see what they're looking at. Those eyebrows cannot be denied, okay? Look how thick those eyebrows are. Okay? Look at the eyes. The nose is covered, but the mouth, they're saying, has a mustache. Now, you mean to tell me that you didn't shave your mustache? This is somebody who thought they were going to get away and haphazardly decided to do this. I think last minute. But then again, it could be the maintenance man. She recently had electric work done to her home. That is a stranger in your home, for hours, maybe days. Maybe they saw the lay of the land. Maybe they overheard her talking and found out, hey, this is a pretty snazzy neighborhood. Oh, okay. Savannah Guthrie is your daughter. So she has a pop famous daughter. You know what I'm saying? People always look for opportunities. Okay? People are always out there to do harm to others. You understand? So I don't know, my mind is going there, but look at what we're looking at, guys. Okay? Let's look at some of these comments. It says, that's the same guy. Mustache and at least a soul patch, more likely a beard, and eyebrows are visible through the holes in the mask. If it were a random person, a little odd that they would share the exact same features. Thick eyebrows, okay, is a feature that doesn't come on everyone. And I know some men have the most striking features. Like, I look at some men and I see their eyebrows, I'll be like, damn, I wish I had that man's eyebrows. Or sometimes you look at the lashes. Like, I used to look at Tupac. He had those distinctive eyebrows and them eyelashes. Have you seen Tupac's eyelashes? And men don't care about things like that. So some men do have striking features like that, like the thick shaped eyebrows and the long eyelashes. You know what I'm saying? But is it common? No. But does it happen often? Yes. Yes, it does. Somebody else says it seems like it, but you just never know. Could be someone that looks just like him. Son-in-law's eyebrows look too bushy to match the suspect's pick. Somebody else said the eyebrows are partially covered by the mask. Only the bottom portion of them is showing. Somebody says wrong shaped eyes, more round. And the SIL has mostly gray in the mustache. And we can see his upper lip. Somebody says a black and white image would distort that. Like I said, I could be wrong, but those are very similar characteristics in the shape of the eyebrows and the mustache. Somebody else says he's much bigger than the man in the picture. And the person who wrote this post says, doesn't look like it to me. All right. This is a picture of them in the car. Okay. Annie Guthrie seems to be hiding her face. And throughout this, I don't know if it looks like a sense of um, um, distance or detachment when they are all seen three together. And you can't look at it just kind of like with the bare naked eye, but it just seems like this could be a possibility. It seems like maybe a detachment or some kind of distance. Um, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but something is strange about this whole situation. And why would they search Annie and Tommaso's home in the first damn place? You feel me? Why would he be a suspect or just, I don't know, he's not been named as a suspect, but maybe just a possible suspect, right? Now, we could just chalk it up to him being the last person seeing Nancy. It could be just as simple as that. FBI, this could be routine for them because it's always, they always look to the people that are closest to the victim. Always, especially in DV situations, it's always the boyfriend. It's always the girlfriend or the wife or the boyfriend or the husband or the lover. So we have to take that into consideration, okay? Let's go ahead and go over, y'all. I just wanted to make sure I showed you guys this picture to get your take on it. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at the actual video so I can show it to you in its entirety, okay? Let's go ahead and take this down. And let me bring up, hold on, y'all. Let me bring up so I can let you guys see the video in its entirety and we'll take it from there. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. You said this smells like foul play. The family knows ain't nobody kidnapping no 80-year-old. That's what I'm saying. Like, who kidnaps an 84-year-old? Who comes to the front door and just, oh, there's a camera. Like, bro, even the nimblest mind would know. Even if you're not criminal minded, you should know that there will be a camera in this opulent neighborhood. Like, did you not care? Because to me, it shows carelessness and lackadaisical. Like, I don't care. Like, oh, a camera. Oh, let me see if this shrub will cover it. Like, watch this, y'all. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. You said the Nancy lady got that narcissistic face. To me, if you ever look at old wicked women, she got that face. Yeah, and those glasses are not hiding it. I don't trust Nancy. No, Nancy is the mom. You're talking about the mom? Because Annie is the other sister. Nancy is the actual mom that got kidnapped. Okay? You say, I don't trust Nancy. Right. Yeah. You said evil people know how to play in people's heartstrings, play on people's heartstrings. So many people be quick to believe every sob story. Social media makes deception, yep, so easy these days. Exactly. Exactly. You can never read too much into something. That's true investigation. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. When was the last time you actually heard of someone kidnapping an 80-year-old for ransom? Yeah. Sounds like a movie plot. Like, are you serious? Are you? It just looks like it's haphazard and not thought through at all. It seems like it was a last minute, the 11th hour like decision to make out of desperation. And I don't know the financial situation with Annie and her husband, but if I were a betting woman, but I watch TV a lot. You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot of true crime and things like that, and it sometimes pans out that way. But let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the full video so you guys can see it. And let's go ahead and get into the authorities conducting a late night search at Annie Guthrie's home. Okay. Maybe textbook, maybe something else. Let's go ahead and get into this, you guys. I'm going to play this for you. There's no sound. Okay. But let me go ahead and add this to the stage. Good. Oh, you said sorry. I just heard about this yesterday. Yeah, so I'm just bringing light to this, um, because I want to talk about this. So I'm glad that you're here with me. Okay. And you know what they say: if you build it, they will come. So let's just get into this, guys. Let me see. I don't think there's any sound on this. Now, I do want to let you know what is our source. This is page 6. This is published February 8th. So 2 days ago, like I said, this enters day 7. So now we're on day 9. The authorities conduct a late night search of Annie Guthrie's home as they hunt for Nancy Guthrie. Enters day 7. All right. Now, let's go ahead and play this. It doesn't have any sound, but let's just make sure, you guys. Okay, let's go. Hold on. Let me start this over and let's go. Okay, as you can see, this is the video, guys. This is the full video, unedited. Okay. So it seems like he just walks up, no panic, regular gait, and puts his hands up to the camera. Okay. Hold on, y'all. What's going on? Okay, you see that, right? Sorry about the delay, guys. Now he sees that that's not working because I don't know what you were going to do. Like, you still got to get in. You see, he has a backpack. Now they said he was armed. I don't see how he's armed, but I'm going to trust what the ABC boys say. Now look at him picking up a shrub. He comes back and attempts to cover it up. All right. Look at that. Do you think that was going to work, sir? You don't have anything to tie that. You don't, like, what? Right? So that was the footage, you guys. All right. Let's see. Now, as you guys see, it says,
Meet my dad.
hold on, y'all. Now, let's just look at this. Uh-oh. All right. So it says authorities were spotted conducting a late night search of Annie Guthrie's home as the search for her and Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy, enters day 7. Law enforcement were seen taking photographs at Annie and husband Tommaso Sione's Tucson, Arizona home late Saturday night until around 10:30 p.m. Mountain Time. The outlet reported an agent carrying a silver briefcase into the home. All right. This remains an active and ongoing investigation, the Pima County Sheriff's Department said in a statement Sunday. Detectives and agents continue to conduct follow-up at multiple locations. Okay. Details of that follow-up are not being released at this time. Investigators have not identified any suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles connected to this case. Now, you remember, they did tow away a vehicle. Okay, I'm not sure of whose it was, but there was a vehicle towed away. Okay, now here are some pictures of the scene. All right, authorities conducted a search at Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie's home. Let's go ahead. Let me show you guys some more pictures. Here's another picture. They were seen taking photographs. These are all still pictures, you guys. Now, I want you guys to look at this picture. Do you see a disconnect, or is this is just something that we're reading into? Because the brother looked like an alcoholic. But they could just be distraught, y'all. I don't want to disrespect this family. I can't tell people how to grieve, how to look, but this is suspicious. So I'm going to look at this suspiciously. Okay? Everybody is suspect, as far as I'm concerned. Everybody is suspect. Buggy. You. Okay. Now, what I don't believe is Savannah Guthrie has anything to do with this. I totally believe her, um, but I do not believe that Savannah Guthrie has anything to do with this. Now, they lived also in Arizona. Okay. The Annie and her husband. I don't know where her brother lives, and I'm not too sure where Savannah lives. I think ABC News, I mean NBC, I think she's on channel 4. I don't know. I don't know if that's in Los Angeles. I don't know if it's in New York, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't live in Arizona, but I can't say it for sure. Okay. Now the brother-in-law, who is Tommaso Sione, and he's keeping a low profile. Okay. He's keeping a low profile. Now, this is the sister, Annie, who is to the right of Savannah Guthrie. And often in cases like this, the family has to keep a united front whether they want to or not. How many times have we seen a story break, right? And people are searching, somebody's missing, there's a crime, there's an unalivement. And then, at the end, we find out that this person did it. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Or they were in on it, or we find the twist at the end. And I don't know if that's just me growing up in Hollywood, being a Hollywood kid and always watching movies, and me as an adult watching crime, true crime, and interrogations and arrests and, people being pulled over. I watch things like that, and you can tell a lot in the body language, even though we're not hearing anybody speak, you know? I don't know, y'all. I don't know what to read into this, but I just wanted to give you guys a good picture. And there may be some type of underlying family feud, maybe a family in discord, maybe somebody has some financial problems, because this seems close to home to me. But then again, anything is possible. Now, they did say that recently Nancy had some electric work or some type of work done on her home. So there were strangers in her home. Sometimes that takes a day, it takes a few hours. But if somebody sets you up to mean good, or sees an opportunity to, come into some money, it doesn't take like a week. Like, it's not like an extended stay or like a vacay or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? This could have been thought up within a couple of hours. All right. And being in her home, who knows if they overheard Nancy saying, talking to Savannah Guthrie, and, them finding out that Savannah Guthrie was a famous newscaster. Just the area alone where she lives lets you know that they got money. Come on now. Come on. So yeah, this is the picture of the brother and Savannah and her sister. Okay. Now, this is a picture of her mom. Now she says she's vibrant. She's 84 years old, but she's vibrant. She's aware. She's alert. She's funny. She has a personality, but she also has a pacemaker. She has medication that she has to have within 24 hours, or it could mean the worst for her. All right. Now, the way they're saying that, I'm assuming that they left the medicine behind, but you never know. Maybe they took a few out of the bottle. Maybe she said, I needed my medicine. But as we know, the scene of the crime, there were blood droplets in the front, which lets us know that the victim was injured. The victim was injured. There was blood on the porch, y'all. So we know she didn't leave on her own free will. And most likely it was her blood. They tested the blood. It was her blood. Okay. She was injured. This shows kind of like they didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Now we are into the 9th day. Okay. Let me go ahead and put this down. Now they were offered to pay the ransom. Okay. Now the sister's name is Annie. Her brother's name is Cameron, and they did offer to pay the mother's ransom. And there's a video out there. I showed you guys a clip, and they practically begged for the return of their mother so that we can celebrate with her. Okay. Now, some people were saying that they probably thought maybe that their mother was already passed and gone. It's the reason why they were saying celebrate her. They didn't say celebrate her. They said celebrate with her. Okay. I want to believe, and I will not put that out there, that she is not alive and well. I will hold on to hope and stay positive, and say that Nancy Guthrie is alive and well. Okay. I don't want to think anything else. All right. Let me see, guys. Here's another picture. According to News Nation, the agent was seen carrying a silver briefcase. These are just stills, you guys. I'm just giving you an idea of what's going on. An officer is seen departing the resident after a lengthy visit. All right. Let me see. President Trump has even weighed in on this. And on Saturday, the investigators that were very close to cracking the kidnapping case tells the reporters that they found very strong clues and believes we could have some answers coming fairly soon. They work meticulously. Okay. Don't put it past them to crack this case. Okay. And I hope that they do. And I hope that she is returned well. Okay. Well and alive and well. Now, Annie and her husband, Thomas Sione, had dinner with Nancy on January 31st. Okay. They were the last ones to see her alive. Now, is that uncommon? Well, no, that's her daughter. She also stays in Tucson, Arizona. But we do know that Nancy did not show up for church. Okay. She did not show up for church. Now, here she is with her with her sister. All right. I don't know when this was taken. All right. Now, I do want to give you guys these details into why that search may be and why they haven't officially named a suspect. Okay. So we have to take this into perspective because Tommaso has not been named a suspect. It may just be regular routine. Why? Because they were the last ones seen. Okay. Now, the 84-year-old was last seen on January 31st around 9:30 p.m. when her son-in-law, Tommaso Sione, dropped her off at home following a dinner with her daughter, Annie. The family called 911 on February 1st after she failed to show up to church in the morning. Now, I want to go ahead and clarify that and clear that up for you guys because she has not attended real church, the actual physical church, since the C-19, okay? Since the pandemic, all right? And people were wondering, like, well, if she doesn't attend church, how did they know she was missing? You know, when you go on live, they can't tell you're watching live. They can't count and see who's tuning in or tapping in. It's a stream that goes out to everybody. But with the little details that came in, the friend that called let the FBI, let the ABC boys know that they would gather at each other's homes as a group and watch the live stream of the church service together. Now, when Nancy didn't show up to whoever's home it was supposed to be, okay, they did this probably weekly. She didn't show up to the home where the group would meet and gather and watch the live stream of the church. So that's who called in, like, hey, she didn't show up for church. We called her. There was no answer. And I would assume that that would be the morning service because it was around 11-ish, between 11 and 12-ish, when the family found out and notified the ABC boys. Okay. Now, it says Savannah, who was set to host the Olympics in Italy, dropped her hosting duties and flew to Arizona to be with her family as the devastating search for her mother continued through the week. Okay. So I wanted to keep you guys up to date. And yeah, the cops have been in and out of Annie's home as well as Nancy's as they desperately search for clues. All right. But remember, Tommaso Cioni has a lot of similarities with the person we just saw. Okay. I mean, those are specific and distinct look, thick eyebrows, mustache, you know. Let's see what else we have. Okay. It says a suspect has yet to be identified in this case, so we got to leave it at that. All right. Now you know that blood was found at the crime scene belonging to Nancy on the porch of her home. They also made the shocking announcement Monday that the police believe she was abducted from her home in the middle of the night, which was later followed by a confirmation of multiple ransom notes. Okay, I don't know why they sent the note to TMZ. They sent a ransom note to TMZ demanding $6 million. They gave two like final dates, and the ninth was the last final date. Okay, that they gave. So I don't know where we go from there. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, so that's pretty much it. You can see where her home is. And remember, it's pitch black out there. No street lights. As you guys can see in this picture, there's no street lights. There's no stop sign lights. There's no, red light, green light, yellow light. There's no traffic lights. So this would be total pitch dark. And you know what's out there, right? Cactus and stuff like that. And this is a desert, you guys. You can't just just stroll up, take the wrong turn, you go play up cactus. Let alone the wildlife that's the wildlife that's probably out there. Now I don't know, but I'm just assuming, you guys. Okay, let me show you the rest of these pictures so you guys can get an idea of how secluded this area is. I couldn't live out here. I don't care how rich I was, girl. I don't, but that's just me. And it's not uncommon for elderly people to retire and move to Arizona. Okay. They have a whole community. I think they're even known for that. So this is not out of the ordinary, you guys. And how long has she been living there and nothing has happened? Who would just think, who would have thunk it? So I'm not saying that this is out of the ordinary, but me, I couldn't live nowhere where it's pitch black. Obviously, the Nest camera didn't work. Obviously, you wasn't, she wasn't Annie. Go get your pistol. So she wasn't on and ready. There was no. I don't see no kind of security system. It failed if there was. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, you guys. That's about all I have. Now, I wanted to let you know that there is a $50K reward for any information that could lead to the whereabouts of Nancy Guthrie. And our prayers and positive vibes are going out to her. Savannah Guthrie is a very religious person. They showed clips of her throughout her life, and she's always talking about God, always mentioning her faith. And I would like to ride on that faith train as well because I am a child of God. Okay. And this is it, you guys. All right. Just wanted to show you these photos. Now, the first ransom deadline passed on Friday, and the second was yesterday, you guys. Now, remember, they didn't want just straight cash. They wanted it in the form of cryptocurrency. Yeah. Maybe for it to be more untraceable or something like that. I don't know. All right. Now, let's see. Now, former CIA officer Walder told Page 6 earlier this week she believed that Nancy had been stalked for some time before the kidnapping. Okay. Now, this is very unsettling. This is a very strange case, and we still have no answers. Okay. Let's just hope that the people do the right thing. All right. Somebody knows something. Somebody has seen something, and we, of course, say something. If you see something, say something. If you see something, do something. All right. Now let me come back to you guys. Let me go into the chat as well. Let me take this down. And yeah, y'all, this is just heartbreaking to me. It really, really is absolutely heartbreaking, you guys. All right. Absolutely heartbreaking. Let me see what you guys are saying. Now, this is what I wonder. This is what I don't know. And I'm glad that you brought this up, Miss Mookie. Girl. Now, how did he open the door? How did he open the door? How did he open the door? Did they break in? Did they have the key? Now, maybe I didn't dive deep enough, but I read some articles. I've been on this. But that's the question how in the hell did he open the door? They never said they saw signs of breaking and entering, or you know what I'm saying? That is the one question that I cannot answer, and that's going to stay on my mind. Okay. You said who was home with the mom? Nobody. Nobody. This was the early hours, like wee hours of the morning. So like 2 o'clock in the morning, where it's still pitch dark outside, and she's asleep. Right? How scary is that for you to be home alone and to hear somebody entering your home and coming into your room and then snatching you up and doing God knows what to cause you to bleed? That must have been one of the scariest moments in that woman's life, in anybody's life. Right? So no one was home with the mom. Nobody. She lived there alone. They said the mom was home alone. She had went out to eat with her kids earlier that evening. Yes, Melinda, exactly. So why they didn't want the ransom? They did want the ransom. Remember that they found out that one of the ransom was from somebody who was fake, who was not even involved. Remember that they've already obtained that person. So I do want to let you know somebody did the ransom, but it was fake. It turned out to be fake. Okay. You said, I want to move in the middle of nowhere so bad. Oh my God, girl. I would be so scared. I would be so scared. But y'all see right there with the blood that is on the porch. That is a significant amount of blood. But why would you have to injure an 84-year-old woman who can't walk 50 yards? Why? Somebody said the ransom is fake because it's the family. This is very, very fishy, y'all. It's very, very just fishy to me. Like there's a ransom, then it's not. Then there is. And 6 million? Like what are we talking about? Why 6 million? I just feel like there's something underlying in this family. Either there was a rift, there was financial problems, maybe they didn't get along, maybe somebody's an alcoholic, maybe somebody has a substance problem. Maybe you know how you have a family and somebody is always known as the crazy one or the problem maker, right? You know, the black sheep of the family. Or maybe they were pitted against each other, right? You know how you have the golden child, you got the black sheep, you know. There was some type of dynamic maybe going on with this family, because in this day and age, you got to expect the unexpected. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Okay. Everything that glitters is not gold. Just because these people were rich don't mean a damn thing. They're just as dysfunctional. And if you don't believe me, when you have time, go take your rabbit ass right on over to YouTube and pull up the what is it called? Johnny Depp and Amber Heard court case. I watched the whole thing. Okay. I went live every day. All right. I reported on that from beginning to end. And if you was in my way, we were going to fight. That's how addicted and attached I was to that case. So you go on over there and check that out and see how they was acting. You can't get no richer and more famous than Johnny Depp. Trust me. And they was over there acting a stone cold, ghetto, fabulous fool. So don't drink the Kool-Aid, y'all. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Human behavior is human behavior. All right. Now you may be in a marble-filled $1 million kitchen, or you could be getting your ass whooped in the projects. But that black eye gonna feel the same. Okay? When you go to the doctor and get them stitches, they're gonna do the same procedure. Okay? Just keep that in mind. All right? You say rich people, yep. Rich people always have money problems. Exactly. So I don't know you guys, but what I do know is something is strange about this whole thing. And they're going to get to the bottom of this, but just seeing this footage right here, this person was unprepared. You got a big ass backpack on, filled with tools. Okay. They say you armed. The fuck? Why are you not prepared? You didn't know there was a camera right there in the front. A blind man could have told you that. A 5-year-old could have told you that. A 5th grader could have told you that. Like, sir, don't you think they're going to have a camera at the front door? I got a camera at my front door. For God's sakes. Look at this suspect. He just goes over, grabs some shrubs, like, oh, la, la, la. He's not agitated. He doesn't seem worried. And it doesn't look like he's tugging or trying to pull down, which eventually that's what happens. He dislodges the camera. Now they had to search for this data, and he was thinking just because he ruined the camera that he ruined the footage. Or did he just not care? Do you see this? This is strange, y'all. Absolutely strange. Look at that. You guys have to see this as strange. He's not prepared, because if he was, he would have already had the plan on how he was going to disengage the camera. Right? This is a sprawling property, okay? Acres. But as you can see, I'm trying to freeze it, y'all. Hold on. I was trying to freeze it right there so you guys could see. Let me see, y'all. I'm trying to find that just one angle where I can show y'all. Hold on, y'all. You said the family put out small details about her not needing her medication within 24 hours leads me to believe that she won't be alive. I know. Unless they took some pills with her, or did they go to, they would be monitoring if she got a prescription filled. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they had to injure an 84-year-old woman and there's blood on the porch, like, Why would you have to injure an 84-year-old? I know she didn't go against her will, but bro, I think I'm stronger than an 84-year-old. And did they pull up a car? You know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Let me just show you the what is it called? Let me just show you guys because I can't seem to catch it. Let me just show you the thumbnail that I have. Okay. I think it's a pretty clear picture on there. Let's just go to my thumbnail, okay? Because I can't seem to find the exact picture that I want to show you guys. Ooh, you said old people be strong. That's true too. I can't even front. That's true too. That's so true. That is so true. You said my granny grabbed me so strong one time. I was like, unhand me, old woman. You are so right. You are so right. Okay. Um, at the end of the day, y'all, we are going to stay up to date on this. Let me just show you guys the thumbnail that I have, okay? Because I think that's going to be closest to what I'm trying to show you because I was trying to freeze it, but I can't do it. Damn. Let me see. Let's see if this is going to be a little bit better. If I could just put the thumbnail up here. Hold on, guys. Let's see if that's going to be a better fit for us. Let's see, y'all. And I want to thank you guys for tapping in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Okay. I appreciate you guys tapping in with me. I'm going to be bringing you more and more stories. Okay. Talking on different subjects. You know, I like to do the blown A bangers where I come and just talk about all the different, stories that have hit the social media buzz and give you guys the latest media buzz, okay? And talk about a little bit about everything, okay? You guys come enjoy the gumbo, all right? Get ready for the blown A bangers. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of gumbo, okay? Hold on, y'all. Let me see if this is gonna come up or not. I don't know why this won't come up. All right, so there we have it. You guys see that picture, all right? And I think that captures mostly what I'm trying to show you guys, all right? Now, now I know someone knows something. Someone saw a car, someone noticed movement where it didn't belong, and that's what the investigators need. Okay? No assumptions, all right? I do want to let you guys know that Nancy Guthrie is still missing. Her family is still waiting, and this footage, disturbing as it is, represents real momentum in the case. Okay. If you recognize the clothing, the movements, or anything from these images, please contact authorities immediately. All right. Because every detail matters and time does too. This case is active. This investigation is ongoing and the truth hasn't surfaced yet. Okay. Seems like we are getting closer to that. Okay. Now, remember, it was a normal evening for Nancy Guthrie and her family who had dinner on January 31st with the daughter and the daughter's husband, Tommaso Sioni. So that's probably why they did search this. I'm just saying, y'all, this seems a little bit fishy. And I'm not saying the family had anything to do with it as far as Savannah Guthrie, but anybody could be suspect, okay? And nothing publicly reported as was reported as unusual. Okay, after dinner, Sione reportedly drove Nancy back to her home in Tucson, Arizona, meaning that it's a short distance away from where they live. That was the last confirmed sighting of Nancy Guthrie. Okay? Authorities now believe she was kidnapped from her home sometime overnight or early morning, like I said, the wee hours of the morning after being dropped off. Now, the evidence at the residence suggests that she was taken against her will. She wasn't wandering. It wasn't no accident. It was an abduction. Right? And that timeline is exactly why Tommaso Sione's name keeps surfacing, not as a suspect, but as a point of public interest. And me as a public, I am interested. Because when someone vanishes under violent circumstances, investigators always start with the last known contact. So this is very standard procedure, y'all. Maybe we're reading too much into it, but by looking and seeing that, it looks like it could be, you know, and just the actions of that person. But at the same time, being the last person to see someone doesn't mean wrongdoing. It means proximity to the timeline only. Okay. I do want to reiterate right now that the law enforcement has been very clear. No suspects or persons of interest have been publicly named in this case. Okay. And of course, the ABC boys and the Pima County Sheriff's Office are handling the investigation together. They're working in unison, and they've released the surveillance footage that I gave you guys. Hopefully, that will generate tips. Okay, we as the public, we're still watching closely between, you know, the gap between January 31st and February 1st is where everything changed. We do know that Nancy made it home, and then she vanished. All right. I don't know, you guys. You guys let me know what you guys think about this right now. What matters most is the fact that most is facts and not speculation. Okay. And right now we're speculating. Okay. Timelines, verified sightings, credible tips. Someone knows something about what happened after Nancy walked through her front door that night. Until she is found, every confirmed detail matters. Now, this case is unfolding, investigation is active, and the truth hasn't surfaced. All right. I will be back with another video, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tapping in to Blonay Media. And yeah, I will be back with an update and more tea, more media buzz, and I will bring you guys the latest on these social media streets. Okay, we're going to be covering more topics. We're going to be opening up, and I'm going to be bringing you guys more and more. Okay, definitely, this is still hashtag Save Junior. Okay, definitely. But it is what it is. Okay, you guys, I will be back with another video. Until next time, America. Of NBC News journalist and anchor Savannah Guthrie was reported missing from her home in Catalina Foothills, Arizona. But here's the part that stopped the investigators cold. Evidence at the scene showed that she was taken from her home against her will. Let that sink in. Now, since then, the FBI has just released surveillance footage from outside of Nancy's front door. In the video, you see a masked individual armed, carrying backup tools, approaching the home. Authorities say that the person appears to have tampered with the camera. This wasn't random. This was deliberate. But was it thought out and planned? Because you have to think about it. If they had already pre-planned this, they would have known about the camera. When you look at this footage, it seems like he is totally unaware that there would have been a camera capturing his every move. And that's where the questions are piling up, because Catalina Foothills is not just any neighborhood. This is an opulent, exclusive area. You don't just walk into places like this unnoticed. There's a long driveways, gated properties, distance between homes. And here's another detail that matters. There are no street lights. So how did this person get here? Was there a car involved? Was someone waiting nearby? Was this a one-person operation, which we doubt? Or was there multiple people working together? Now, Nancy Guthrie doesn't just disappear from a secured home in a wealthy neighborhood without logistics, without some kind of planning, without the confidence that they could get in and out. But this seems to question that. Okay. Now, from the Guthrie family, this footage is the first real sign of hope. It's the first confirmation that someone knows something, that someone has seen something, that this case has direction, but it also raises the stakes, because if the person was prepared enough to mask up, carry tools, and disable surveillance, this wasn't opportunistic, and that should concern everyone. Right now, the Pima County Sheriff's Department is still offering $50,000 for any information that leads to the whereabouts of Nancy Guthrie. $50,000 for answers, for movement, for justice. Someone knows something. A car seen out of place, a figure walking where no one should have been, a detail that didn't make sense at the time, but does now. If you live near Catalina Foothills or anywhere, as of right now, if you were there that night, if you saw something as unusual, no matter how small, this is the time to speak up, because an elderly woman was taken from her home and every hour matters. This isn't just headlines. This is a family waiting, and this case is far from over.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers, and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. If you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation.
My heart and prayers go out to this family, and please help in any way you can. There are no main suspects and no car has been ID'd, but the sheriffs say that there are other images still to be released. So you guys stay tuned. Thanks for tapping in. Stay tuned and follow for more.